Now at 5, an apology and a plan to move forward for USA Gymnastics as the organization answers for hundreds of complaints of sexual abuse.
Now, this story has been unfolding all day long since 13 investigators broke it for you around 11 o'clock this morning. We put a digital push alert for you on your app. Our Emery Tiernan was the only local journalist today to get an advanced look at a report that details dozens and dozens of ways that USA Gymnastics needs to improve to protect young athletes.
Ann is in Milwaukee tonight, where she spoke exclusively to the report's author and the leaders of USA Gymnastics. Ann?
Well, good evening. Yes, I'm joining you live from Milwaukee with a copy of the report that is making headlines all across the country right now. This is the report that the USA Board of Directors unanimously approved, and it is calling for drastic, far-reaching changes in the organization. The report was authored by former federal prosecutor Deborah Daniels, and in the report, she spent 6 months rather, investigating the policies and procedures of the organization. In the end, she said she had 160 interviews, and then she authored this far-reaching call for change. She told me in all there are 70 recommendations in 10 areas as it relates to sexual abuse allegations. This was not an investigation to determine the validity of charges or even lawsuits that are pending against the Federation, but she says during her investigating she discovered that there is, at the very least, an external perception that the primary focus of the organization is on winning medals. The Olympic Committee wants to win medals. There's no question about that. But what we are saying is that there needs to be a clear articulation that the culture is athlete safety first, not just success on the field of play. She said she also, during her review over the last 6 months, she made the observation that a lot of people who are at the top of the organization are very close to the sport. As a matter of fact, the acting chief operating officer right now is a former Olympian, and the chairman of the board right now happens to be the father of an Olympian. And he told me, you know, I thought we were doing a lot, but obviously we need to do a lot more. And he apologized to athletes who claimed that they were abused while participating in the sport.
As I've said, we're extremely sorry that any of participants, and particularly young athletes in our sport, have suffered any type of abuse or mistreatment. And we regret that they have had to go through that. And we're going to strive to see to it that it doesn't happen again, because we believe just one instance of child abuse is one too many.
As I mentioned earlier, it's a very lengthy report and there's a lot of recommendations. So we want to bring you some of the top of the ones right now. There are many points in the report that are made about how to improve reporting and how to prevent abuse. The key is that there must be timely, immediately, no delay. Daniels said that everyone involved with the organization is to err on the side of protecting the athletes in all situations. Next, the Federation needs to create more accountability between the clubs, the coaches, and the USA Gymnastics staff. Athlete safety, again, should be everyone's top priority. The report also finally raised concerns about the Karolyi camp. That's where the nation's most elite female athletes go to train monthly with USA Gymnastics. The report said that the location and the poor cell phone connections in that remote area north of Houston could be isolating, and so it called for more monitoring of the living quarters there, and also monitoring of how the girls traveled there, who they traveled with, who picked them up, how many people were in the car. And you know, if you're a parent and you have a kid who's in club gymnastics, you know as they move up through the ranks that traveling is part of the game. And as part of these recommendations that were approved and now effective immediately, there are new restrictions about who you can take to an event, what hotels you can stay in, if you can take your friend's daughter to a USA meet, what type of texting can occur. So a lot of changes that parents need to know about that are effective now if your kids are USA in Gymnastics, and we're going to talk about that coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 6. But a pretty scathing report on how operations thus far have been going for USA Gymnastics as it relates to sexual abuse allegations. Back to you.
And that apology is certainly a first step. Emery Tiernan reporting live tonight from Milwaukee. Thank you.
And if you would like to dig through that 146-page report yourself, we've posted the full document at WTHR.com. Just go to our homepage and click on this story. And the doctor accused in the sexual assaults that led to this investigation is now facing a series of cases. Dr. Larry Nassar claims what he did was part of a medical procedure and he did nothing wrong. He faces 3 cases, including one for criminal sexual conduct. Another has dozens of women and girls suing him, and Nasser also faces federal child pornography charges.